The day the castaways were finally rescued was a joyous one. They were reunited with Ginger, who had arranged a grand welcome party. As they celebrated their return to civilization, they shared stories of their time on the island and the bond that had kept them together. And so, the castaways of Gilligan's Island were finally home, thanks to Ginger's daring escape and unwavering determination. When Ginger finally returned to the island with the rescue team, the reactions of the other castaways were a mix of shock, joy, and relief. The skipper was the first to spot the approaching helicopter. His eyes widened in disbelief, and he quickly gathered everyone to the clearing. As the helicopter landed and Ginger stepped out, the skipper's stern demeanor melted into a broad smile. He gave her a bear hug, lifting her off the ground. "We knew you'd make it, Ginger. You did it." Gilligan was next, running up with his trademark clumsiness, nearly tripping over his own feet. He was so excited that he could barely speak. "Gee, Ginger. You're back. I can't believe it." He hugged her tightly, his eyes brimming with tears of happiness. The professor was more composed but equally thrilled. He shook Ginger's hand warmly. "Your determination and courage are truly remarkable, Ginger. We are so proud of you." He was already thinking about how they could use Ginger's connections to finally get off the island. Mary Ann was overjoyed to see her friend again. She ran up and embraced Ginger, tears streaming down her face. "I missed you so much, Ginger. I'm so glad you're safe." The two women shared a heartfelt moment, grateful to be reunited. Mr. and Mrs. Howell were, as always, a bit more reserved but no less happy. Mr. Howell adjusted his monocle and gave Ginger a dignified nod. "Well done, my dear. You've shown true Howell spirit." Mrs. Howell, with her usual elegance, hugged Ginger and said, "Welcome back, darling. We've missed your glamour around here." The reunion was filled with laughter, tears, and stories. Ginger recounted her journey and the incredible rescue, while the castaways shared their own tales of survival in her absence. The bond between them had only grown stronger, and they were more determined than ever to find a way off the island together. As they celebrated, the rescue team assured them that they would soon be leaving the island for good. The castaways couldn't believe their ordeal was finally coming to an end. Thanks to Ginger's bravery and the unwavering hope they all shared, they were about to embark on a new chapter of their lives, back in the world they had longed for. Returning home after their long ordeal on the island brought a mix of joy and unexpected challenges for the castaways. The castaways' first day back in civilization was a whirlwind of emotions and activities, as they each navigated the overwhelming return to their former lives. Ginger was immediately swarmed by reporters and fans at the airport. Cameras flashed, and microphones were thrust in her face as she tried to answer questions about her incredible journey. Despite the chaos, she handled it with grace, giving heartfelt thanks to everyone who supported their rescue. Later, she was whisked away to a luxurious hotel, where she finally had a moment to herself to reflect on her adventure. The skipper and Gilligan were greeted by a small crowd of well-wishers, including former shipmates and friends. The skipper was offered a hero's welcome, with a local maritime organization presenting him with an award for his leadership and bravery. Gilligan, overwhelmed by the attention, stuck close to the skipper, grateful for his guidance and support. The professor was met by colleagues from the academic community, eager to hear about his discoveries and experiences. He was invited to give a lecture at a nearby university, where he shared insights about the island's unique ecosystem and the survival strategies they employed. The professor was thrilled to be back in an environment where he could continue his research and share his knowledge. Mary Ann was reunited with her family, who had been anxiously awaiting her return. There were tears of joy and long hugs as she stepped off the plane. She spent the day catching up with her loved ones, sharing stories of her time on the island and enjoying a home-cooked meal that reminded her of the comforts she had missed. Mr. and Mrs. Howell were greeted by a chauffeur and a limousine, ready to take them back to their opulent lifestyle. They were happy to be home, but found themselves missing the simplicity of island life. They spent the day reconnecting with old friends and planning a grand party to celebrate their return, but they also made a point to discuss how they could use their wealth to help others, inspired by their time as castaways.